Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Box Office Talk. This is the show where I break down what happened at the box office, see if my predictions for the top 5 are correct, and then make predictions for next week's top 5. So let's get right on into it. Last week I predicted that number 1 would be Aquaman, number 2 would be Mary Poppins Returns, number 3 would be Bumblebee, number 4 would be Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse, and number 5 would be Holmes and Watson. And I almost got a perfect 5 out of 5 for this holiday season, but unfortunately it's just a 4 out of 5, which is still pretty good, but it's pretty good to end this year on actually. So let's go over what happened in the overall top 10. Number 1 was, of course, Aquaman, holding over very well, only dropping by like 10 million, making $51 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of 188 million. And on the worldwide chart, it is already at 748 million. It is 130 million away from outgrossing every other World of DC movie in this franchise right now. So a lot of people have been reporting this, and I think it definitely will happen. DC's Aquaman will be the highest grossing one in their franchise, which is pretty good, even though I don't think this movie's flawless. I think this movie's definitely fun enough to get a lot of people in, and a lot of people maybe a little bit more invested in the world of DC once again, which is pretty good for them. Number 2 is Mary Poppins Returns, also holding over very well, making $28 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of 98, so close to 100 million domestically already, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at $173 million, and right now it only needs about 87 million more until it doubles its $130 million budget, which is very good. It had a really good weekend compared to the first weekend, which wasn't too bad, but definitely this holiday season has been making up for some of the lackluster numbers we've been getting over the past couple of weeks. Number 3, we have Bumblebee making $20 million, adding to a domestic total of 66 million, and on the worldwide chart it is sitting at 156 million. So right now, it's still not close from outgrossing any other previous Transformers film, domestically and worldwide, but it is holding over pretty strongly and is actually making a lot more money than it was originally. So I'm actually very happy with this, and I hope that when it's released more places worldwide in January, that worldwide number continues to grow and that it doubles its budget, makes a little bit more than that, and we get another film in this new Transformers universe that they've set up. Number 4, we have Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse making $18 million, and that adds to a domestic total of 103 million. And as far as other Sony Pictures animation film goes, it's 12 million away from outgrossing Peter Rabbit domestically, which is very good, and worldwide it is already at 213 million, which is actually doubled the $90 million budget and like 33 million over that, which is very good. And it's also 4 million away from outgrossing the Emoji Movie worldwide. So this movie, as weeks go on and as the holiday season is here, this movie is actually getting some more attention, and it's actually rising in the ranks of the other Sony Picture animation films. So that's very good. I'm so happy that this film is getting more recognition this holiday season. Number 5, we have The Mule. It still doesn't have a worldwide total, but what else can you really do at this point? It's actually holding over pretty well, making 11 million, adding to a domestic total of 60 million, and even though it's still 40 million away from doubling its $50 million budget, I think that there is still a chance for some worldwide numbers to come out like around January, so I think this movie will do pretty fine overall. Number 6, we have Vice, opening up with 7.7 million, adding to a domestic total of 17 million, because this movie and number 7 actually opened on Christmas Day on Tuesday, so we have a domestic total of 17 million, and although it didn't open really huge right now, I really do think that as award season continues on, more people will go out to see it. Right now, holiday season's a little bit more about family films, like Aquaman or Mary Poppins right now, so that kind of makes sense that this movie isn't making as much money as it maybe should be right now. Number 7 is Holmes and Watson. It actually did pretty decently considering all the news stories about how bad the Rotten Tomatoes score is. It made $7.3 million this weekend, adding to a domestic total of 19 million, and on the worldwide chart it is only at 23 million. Now it still has a ways to go until it doubles its $42 million budget, and honestly, maybe it'll have a chance since this is still technically the holiday season, but I feel like a lot of the negative buzz about this film is really going to hold it back from actually doubling its budget, but we'll have to wait and see, honestly. Number 8, we have Second Act making 7.2 million, adding to a domestic total of 21, and on the worldwide chart it is at 28 million, so it's only 4 million away from actually doubling its budget, which is very good. I actually do think it will be able to do that by next weekend, so that's pretty good for the J-Lo comedy that I keep seeing YouTube ads for, so that's pretty good. It's actually almost there, doubling its budget. Number 9, we have Ralph Breaks the Internet making 6 million, adding to a domestic total of 175 million, matching its initial production budget pretty well, but also worldwide it is sitting at 350 million, which is the exact doubling point that it needs. So technically, Ralph Breaks the Internet has finally done it. It's finally doubled its budget. This is exactly what I've been waiting for so long. And although it is looking like it's about to leave the top 10 pretty soon, maybe not next weekend, but the week after, I'm still pretty happy that it was able to double its budget while we were here at least. And finally, closing out the video, number 10, The Grinch making $4 million, adding to a domestic total of $265 million. As far as the Illumination films go, it has $5 million to go until it outgrosses Sing, which is pretty good. And worldwide, it is sitting at $469 million, so about $31 million away from getting to $500 million worldwide. I'm not sure if it will be able to get there now since Christmas has kind of passed, and I think a lot of people are going to lose some interest in seeing The Grinch, but this movie still made a lot of money while it was here, and that's pretty good on its own. So congratulations, it managed to outgross literally every single other Dr. Seuss movie before it domestically, so that's pretty fantastic if you ask me. Now it's time for the fun part, the predictions for next week's top 5. I don't think much is going to change, but I do think there will be one new entry in the top 5. Number 1 will be Aquaman. Number 2, Mary Poppins Returns. Number 3, Bumblebee. Number 4, Escape Room. And number 5, Spider-Man Into the Spiderverse. But what are your predictions for next week's top 5? Leave it in the comments below, and if you got your predictions right for this week, you're going to get a shout out right now. Unless you didn't get it right, then I'm sorry. And as always, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe. I'm Jackson Fulcher. See you guys next time.